man, physical media man, physical media man. What'd you buy? Was it something good?
What's up, guys? Physical Media Man back here again for another bonus video. I got April's monthly movie reviews. Not too many titles were watched during the month of April. We got these along with one theater movie. But before I get started, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, leave feedback, do all that good stuff down below. I'll leave links to my Instagram page, my Physical Media Man Store Instagram page, my Facebook page for the Physical Media Man / Physical Media Man Store, my Facebook page for non-media related items, the Hodgepodge Garage, my email, my eBay, my Twitter, my Letterboxd account, which I'm going to add these tonight hopefully to that, as well as some of the previous month's reviews, and my Film Aficionado account where you can follow along with my collection, which is not yet up to date, as well as my wish list of movies I'm after. But actually, before I do those reviews, I have a Disney Movie Club unboxing that I forgot. I think I just didn't decline, or this is a really late arrival. I'm not sure which one. So, see what we got here. These awful boxes they got. A movie I already had, it looks like. And a beat up. We got the Jungle Book, the Disney Movie Club exclusive, limited release. So yeah, messed up there. Maybe I'll return that with some of my other ones. Alright, so first up, this one was without my wife. My buddy and viewer Corey came over and we watched Gold, starring Matthew McConaughey and Edgar Ramirez, who I didn't realize he plays Bodhi in the new version of Point Break, which I heard is awful, but his performance in this, I know the movie's supposed to be bad. It kind of made me want to watch it, honestly. But it follows a prospector who's on the hunt for gold. His dad had a very successful prospecting and real estate company type of thing, and he's not doing so well, so it kind of follows his story, and it's actually somewhat based on a true story, and I kind of looked into that, and that's very interesting as well. I really enjoyed this one. Thought Matthew McConaughey did a very good job, as well as the rest of the cast, so I'm giving it a B. Next up, I had a movie-a-thon. My wife watched 2 of the 4, and then my buddy and viewer Cody watched all 4 of these with me one night. So first up, we got Blind Spotting. I had heard great things about this. It came out last year, so I was really excited to pick it up. And it follows Colin, who's a parolee facing his final 3 days of probation and needs to stay clear of trouble. Miles, Colin's hot-tempered best friend, can't stay out of it. When Colin witnesses a police shooting, the 2 men's friendship is tested, sending Colin and Miles on a collision course with each other in this bold and thought-provoking film that bursts with energy, style, and humor. And both of these guys, I guess, were on the Broadway of Hamilton. So, and it does kind of have a little bit of aspect to that. But they both wrote and directed this movie and starred in it. Or not, they didn't direct it, sorry. They wrote it and starred in it. Different director, but actually, this guy here liked my post from when I watched it, but really enjoyed this movie, thought it was amazing. I'm giving it an A. Really, really liked it, highly recommend. Original story, just very intense, very good film. Next up, we watched a movie that's based on a true story. We got Molly's Game, starring Jessica Chastain, Idris Elba, and Kevin Costner. It follows a Olympic, or she was going to try to be an Olympic skier, and she has a bad wreck, but she's a super smart person. Went to Stanford, I believe, in the movie and in real life, and she's trying to figure out what to do with her life, and kind of gets into the underworld of poker. So, very good story, based on a true story. Good film. I thought Jessica Chastain did a very good job, but I'm giving this one a B-. Next up, we watched Hardbodies. So this is when three middle-aged geezers move into a swinging beach house. They hire a young stud to teach them how to score with local beauties. 80s band Vixen and hundreds of Southern Californians' hottest swimsuit models co-star in the legendary cult comedy. So this was put out and sent to me by Mill Creek. I'm giving it a C-, but it was hilarious. We were losing it for the majority of this film. A lot of random weird comments made by the characters in it, a lot of nudity, but the guys that they're, so it's like a teenager or early 20s main character is trying to help these like 40 to 60-year-old guys get laid by these young girls, and there's a lot of weird comments that were made throughout the film, but we were losing it. But like I said, it's not a very good film, but very enjoyable. I would definitely watch it again, so I would recommend picking this one up. Not expecting much out of the film, but it's definitely a fun time. And last that night, we watched Tao of Steve. The Tao of Steve, I guess. Picked this one up because it's starring, I guess his name's pronounced Donald Logue. So yeah, he was on TV's Ground for Life, and he's also Harvey Bullock in Gotham. So that's the reason I picked it up. So here's what it says. The charismatic, overweight, amateur philosopher Dex, brilliantly played by Donald Logue, can help. He'll teach you all about the Tao of Steve, a code which he and his friends live by that virtually guarantees scoring with the ladies. The gist of it, be desireless, be excellent, be gone. But when Dex meets up with the old college fling Sid, the rules he lived by no longer apply, and he soon realizes that true enlightenment and happiness lies not within picking up women, but being true to yourself. So yeah, I don't know if it's because we watched it so late, because I think it was like at 2 o'clock when we started this one, but it wasn't bad, wasn't great, giving it a C. Next up, my wife and I watched The Last Picture Show. I've been really wanting to watch this one, and it follows Jeff Bridges and some other people from high school that just recently graduated. And this is a really thought of film. One of the big things about it is it's like one of the first movies to use popular music in the movie, not just music made for the film. So that's kind of a big deal. But it says, let's see here. A surprisingly frank, bittersweet drama of social and sexual mores in small-town Texas. The film features a talent-laden cast led by Jeff Bridges, Sybil Shepherd, and Timothy Bottoms, Cloris Leachman, and Ben Johnson. Okay, it didn't really say much about the movie, but it's just like a coming-of-age story, just a really small town, and I don't really want to go into too much more detail because I don't want to ruin anything. I'm giving it a B-, but there's a lot of significance to the film, a lot of interesting details about it. I would look into the trivia after you watch it, or listen to, I believe it's Unspooled with the guy from the League, his podcast with, I can't remember her name, but they're going through AFI's like top 200 movies, and they like go in depth detail about things that happened throughout filming, um, reasons they did things, just little trivia tidbits and stuff. It's a very good podcast, and I really enjoyed listening to it after watching this movie. Um, Definitely worth watching. Just kind of boring in parts, um, but yeah, I would recommend watching it for sure. Next up, we got Joy, which is somewhat based on a true story. Follows a younger mother, and she's got a crazy family situation going on, and she's trying to become a inventor. So it follows her story. Also stars Robert De Niro and Bradley Cooper, along with Jennifer Lawrence, of course, and directed by David O. Russell. So it reunites them, as in Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper and him. Very, very well done film. I really enjoyed it, giving it a B. Next up, we watched 12 Strong, starring Chris Hemsworth. And this is the classified tale of real-life heroism. Follows the first U.S. Special Forces team sent into Afghanistan in the harrowing days after 9/11. They must convince the general of the Northern Alliance to join forces in fighting the Taliban and Al Qaeda. While overcoming mutual distrust, the Americans must also adopt the rudimentary tactics of the Afghan horse soldiers. Despite their uneasy bond, the new allies find themselves outnumbered and outgunned by a ruthless enemy that does not take prisoners. So yeah, this was also, I guess it is actually, it's based on the book Horse Soldiers, which I wouldn't mind reading. Very well done film. I also listened to a podcast on this, not really on the movie, more on the real life people, with Heartland Radio, which is a part of Pat McAfee, the former NFL punter for the Indianapolis Colts. His podcast, they had two of the guys from, or the movie's based on. They interviewed them, and it was very good. So really enjoyed this movie, though, and also giving this one a B. Next up, we watched Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, starring Lindsay Lohan. So it's a hip and hilarious coming-of-age comedy for the whole family. When the always dramatic Lola and her family move from the center of everything in New York City to the center of cultural wasteland in suburban New Jersey, she feels her life is simply not worth living. But no matter who or what gets in the way, Lola won't give up on her life's ambition, to be a star. At a crowd-pleasing movie treat bursting with music, dance, and excitement, Lola's fun-filled adventure won't be glamorous or easy, but it might just show her that real life could exceed even her wildest dreams. So pick this up for the Disney and, just the Disney collection. But I don't mind Lindsay Lohan's movies, especially around this time. But it was fine. It had enjoyable parts, but overall it's not really that good of a movie, so I'm giving it a C-. But I enjoyed watching it. And then lastly, physical media wise, we watched The Office season 5. Let's see what episodes are on it. Those are really good. There's a lot of funny ones. I'm going to give it a B. Company Picnic. Weight Loss. Crime Aid. Customer Survey. Frame Toby. The Duel. So yeah. Like I've said, I've talked about The Office on previous monthly movie reviews, but it follows a somewhat failing paper company and the employees that work there. So one of my favorite comedy shows I've ever watched. It's right up there, and probably above or tied with Seinfeld, in my opinion. And we also went and watched Avengers Endgame in the movie theater. Opening weekend, I went on the Sunday it came out. Didn't want to get anything spoiled for me, so we went and watched it. Really enjoyed it. I won't go into much more detail than it leaves off where Infinity War left off, or starts up where Infinity War left off. So I won't go into detail. I don't want to spoil anything, but I really enjoyed it. I'm giving it an A minus, which I think is fair in my opinion. But it was a very well done movie. I thought the characters all did very well in their roles. So yeah, like I said, I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. So that's everything we watched during the month of April. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't yet done so, make sure to subscribe down below. So this is Physical Media Man signing off. Physical Media will never die.
Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man. Yeah!